commissioners and staff and folks and developers, of course. My name is Greg Frone, 539 Chesapeake Court. I live on that street off of Maple that has that sidewalk that goes to nowhere, as somebody pointed out earlier. I heard a lot of interesting things tonight. I had prepared some comments, but after I heard a lot of what I would call kind of opinions and maybe some contradictory assumptions, I want to kind of ad-lib this a little bit and kind of run off of this energy that I'm hearing here. And the number one thing, it's really easy to refute this project and some of the issues that they have not properly addressed. While on paper it looks good, but what I think we're missing the boat here, folks, is this really a project that fits into our community? We're taking a soccer field, we're taking probably the best used piece of green space in our community, convert it into high density housing for that almighty buck. And I hear a lot about sewer lines. Well, I gotta tell you, we're in a better place than just worrying about sewer delivery. And I question if an 18-inch sewer line, where is that 18-inch sewer line going to? I got a feeling we're gonna find it next down to an 8-inch sewer line. And what happens when you go from 18 inches to 8 inches? It bottles up and creates a whole other realm of issues. I think we can be more creative in this day and age of land development and land use. When I look at the overall view of this project, we've got some assumptions calling out for 50% to Finucane and 50% to Maple. I heard a lot of concessions around Finucane, and that's great, but Finucane's already a wider travel lane. It already accommodates pedestrian and bicycle use. What we're grossly overlooking here is Maple does not address that. It's going to take a little more work, a little more creativity to get that up to a safe standard for our families, our children, our grandparents, etc., to use that lane and to promote a prosperous Hayden. Let's not sell ourselves short here, folks. I mean, I ask you to reconsider. I heard a great idea. Yeah, a soccer field. Let's improve that as a green space soccer field for our community's youth. Put in a high density subdivision. That's easy money, guys. I mean, we got other property that lends itself well to that. This isn't Post Falls Prairie. This is a very unique place we all call it our home, and we want to pass on our home to future generations. I would argue that residential subdivisions, while they can meet the letter of the law, are they really meeting the needs of the community? Maybe we reevaluate, maybe the developer can reevaluate the value of this 16 acres and look at a larger lot project with a little more green space. Maybe instead of 6 soccer fields, we have 1 soccer field, or we have one nicely well thought out green space area where folks can walk their dog, take their kids on their first bike ride, things of that nature. We've got a wonderful park in Hayden Lake. Why don't we build on that? Rather than isolate that, why don't we look for ways to connect our green spaces while also accommodating future residential growth? As we all know, everybody wants to move here, but let's plan it out carefully rather than just go for that max density. I mean, is that really what we're all about? Yeah. I gotta argue we're not. I know you folks aren't on board with that, but it meets the letter of the law, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate your efforts, but there's a better way to make this happen. I mean, we can be more creative. Let's challenge ourselves to do a better job with urban planning. I'm going to get to the root of the real safety concern, the reason that number 1 fails. Maple Street is grossly inadequate for the current traffic use, for the current school children that walk to school, for the current kids that ride their bikes to and from Honeysuckle Beach, that go into town for a burger over at Zips, go to the library, go to Super One for mom and dad to get, you know, a gallon of milk. Come on, that street, you're taking your life in your own hands, as Doug eloquently puts. My wife and I walk that all the time. We walk our dog. We raised our kids on Chesapeake Court. We've been there since 2007. This area and the use of maple continues to escalate to such a level that you're taking your life in your own hands. I gotta ride my bike onto my neighbor's lawn. I mean, I've ridden through his sprinklers to avoid getting whacked on the road by garbage truck, U-Hauls, 3/4 tons pulling their bass boat down to Honeyside. I mean, you know, that road gets used hard, but there's times you can go out there and there's nobody on that road. Hey, this is wonderful. But it's those peak uses that you're taking life in your own hands. Just the other day, I had to follow an elderly man on his bicycle. I wasn't gonna pass him unless I had a free lane to do so. It took 5 cars before I could pass him. He kept looking over his shoulder. Why is this guy following me? Well, because I don't want to run him off the road. I mean, it's just simple math. Just measure the width of Maple Street. You'll find it's grossly inadequate. I would ask that we have a less dense project. We incorporate green space better. We think about what we're doing, because once those lots go in, that's it. Game over. You're done. And then we're going to be sitting here wondering, gee, I wish we had done a little better job of working with the developer to come up with a better product. This side of 95 is high value. This is a desirable place to live. People will pay good money for 3rd-acre lots. We're looking for a little less dense, a little less impact on our existing infrastructure, because I'm telling you, it's taxed out. It is maxed out. Another 53 units is off the charts. So with that, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the effort you guys are putting into this and the thought. And I'm just hopeful that we can come up with a better solution for what we're working with here. Thank you.
Thank you.